Hi everyone. Today we are going to see about contraception. In that, permanent contraception. So what do you mean by contraception? So birth control is known as contraception. So it is designed to prevent pregnancy. Sterilization is an important form of birth control that is extremely effective in preventing the pregnancy. So before that, let's see about family planning. So what is family planning? Family planning refers to practices that helps the individuals or couples to attain certain objectives. So the objectives are to avoid unwanted births, to regulate the interval between the pregnancies, to control the time at which birth occurs in relation to the age of the patient. This means if the couple has got married and engaged, so they want to delay the pregnancy, in the sense we can teach about family planning methods. Then to determine the number of children in the family. So these are some of the objectives related to family. Next we can see about the scope of family planning. So the scope includes proper spacing and limitations of birth, advice on sterility, education for parenthood, sex education, screening for pathological conditions related to the reproductive system, genetic counseling, then premarital counseling or consultation and examination, marriage counseling, then the preparation of couples for the arrival of their first child, providing services to unmarried mothers, providing adoption services. So these are some of the scope related to family planning. Next we can see the types of family planning. So in the types of family planning, there are two main types. So one is temporary family planning and the other one is permanent family planning. So in the temporary family planning, there are some of the methods such as barrier method, intrauterine devices, hormonal method, post-conceptional method, and also natural method. In the permanent method of family planning, it consists of male sterilization and female sterilization. So now we are going to see about this permanent sterilization in detail. So what are the advantage of doing this permanent sterilization? So it is a one-time method. Effective protection against pregnancy, less risk of complication, it is cost effective or free of charge. So in case of government hospitals, they are doing the family planning at free of cost. Does not require any teaching or training for this family planning. So let's see what are the guidelines that are required for sterilization. First one, the husband age should be between 25 to 50 years and the wife age should be between 20 to 45 years. They must have 2 living children. Then if the couple has 3 or more living children, the age limit may be relaxed. So we have seen the age limit for husband, wife. If the couple has more than 3 living children, we can consider the age. Next is need consent from the spouse. So these are some of the guidelines that are required for sterilization. Let's see what is meant by permanent sterilization. So sterilization of man or women is the permanent method of family planning. So it consists of male and female. Suppose in case of men, we are doing this permanent method, it is known as vasectomy. In case of women, it is known as tubectomy. So first we can see about male sterilization or vasectomy. So this male sterilization or vasectomy can be done through two methods. So the first one is standard vasectomy or conventional vasectomy, and the second type is non-scalpel vasectomy. So we can see one by one in detail. So first, standard vasectomy. So standard vasectomy in the sense it is a simple operation performed under local anesthesia. So two incisions are made in the scrotum to reach the vas deferens. So here they are making two incisions in the scrotum to reach the vas deferens. Once they have reached the vas deferens, they will be clamping and cutting off both the vas deferens. Then the cut end are ligated and folded back to avoid the risk of recanalization. So it is a simple procedure, faster and a less expensive operation. So this is about standard vasectomy. So it is a simple operation which is done under local anesthesia. Two incisions are made to identify the vas deferens. Then the vas deferens are clamped and cut and ligated. So this is about the standard vasectomy. Next we can see non-scalpel vasectomy. So non-scalpel vasectomy is the latest and most popular technique. So in the previous one, in the standard vasectomy, we have seen two incisions are made. But in case of non-scalpel vasectomy, here there is no need of any incision. Just a small puncture will do. So puncturing the stretched skin of scrotal sac with a sharp instrument. Then they will locate the vas deferens, cutting and ligating of the tube is done. Okay. So this is very simple than standard vasectomy. So here no incision is needed, only they will puncture the scrotal sac with a sharp instrument and they will identify the vas deferens. Then they will cut and ligate the tube. So this is about the non-scalpel vasectomy. So we have seen about standard vasectomy and non-scalpel vasectomy. Let's see what are the advantages of doing this vasectomy. So it is a permanent procedure, safe and inexpensive. It doesn't interfere with sexual pleasure. Sperm production is not affected here. This procedure is very cheap and simple. Hospitalization is not required. Canalization is possible. If the couple is willing for canalization, we can do that also. So these are some of the advantages of vasectomy. Next, let's see what are the disadvantages of doing this vasectomy is. The client will be having pain, hematoma in the scrotum. In some cases, there will be chance for local infection. There is chance of spontaneous recanalization in some cases. So these are some of the disadvantages of vasectomy. So now we can see about the female sterilization. Female permanent sterilization. So female sterilization is a surgical procedure in which the fallopian tubes are cut and sealed in order to prevent fertilization. So same like male sterilization only, here the fallopian tube is cut and sealed in order to prevent further fertilization. So this is about the female sterilization. Let's see the methods of tubal ligation. So in the method, mainly there is of two methods. So one is the occlusion method and the other method is the method of tubal ligation or root. So these are the main two methods of doing this tubal ligation. So one is the occlusion method. In the occlusion method, it consists of partial salpingectomy, clips, fallope ring, electrocoagulation. Then in the method of tubal ligation or root, it includes laparotomy method, laparoscopic tubal ligation, mini laparotomy and vaginal tubal ligation. So let's see one by one in detail. In case of partial salpingectomy, so the Pomeroy technique is one of the most frequent method of tubal ligation. So the technique what they are doing here is known as Pomeroy technique. So tying a small loop at the tube by suture and cutting off the top segment of the loop through laparoscopy or laparotomy. So you can see this in a picture. So here they are tying a loop that may be a suture material also. So they will tie a loop around the tube and they will cut a part of tube. So that is known as partial salpingectomy. So this can be done through laparoscopy or laparotomy. So next is the clip method. So in the clip method, clamping of the tube with a clip to obstruct the blood flow and prevent fertilization. So here they are using a clip to obstruct the blood flow and prevent the fertilization that occurs in the tube. So the clips are introduced into the abdominal cavity via laparoscopic clip applicata. So through laparoscope, they will insert this clip and they will clip it in the fallopian tube. So the clipped portion becomes necrosis due to lack of blood supply. Okay. So if necrosis occurs in the sense, it helps in obstruction of sperms and egg. That is, it will not pass through the fallopian tube. It will be obstructed in the necrosed portion. So this is a picture. This is a clip. So this is known as clip method. Next is the fallope rings. So the tubal rings encircles a small loop of fallopian tube which block the blood supply, resulting in scarring and prevent passage of sperm or egg. This procedure is performed by inserting a laparoscope just under the umbilicus. So here this is also same like clips. So here a tubal ring is applied in the fallopian tube. So the place where they are applied, it leads to scarring and it prevents the passage of sperm or egg. So it results in permanent sterilization. So this is about the fallope ring. Next is the electrocoagulation or cauterization. So here the electric current is used to coagulate or burn small portion of each fallopian tube. So we can see this in the picture. So here cauterization is done so that the tube is getting obstructed. So this procedure is done through laparoscopy. So this is known as electrocoagulation. So next we can see the method of ligation by entry site or route. So how we are entering inside and sterilizing the tube. So this is about the second method. So in this first method is laparotomy method. So we will be knowing about the laparotomy, that is opening of the abdomen and doing the procedure. So in the laparotomy method, it includes the Pomeroy method, Irving tubal ligation and Uchida method. So in the Pomeroy method, we have seen earlier itself, this Pomeroy technique is most frequent method of tubal ligation. So tying a small loop or suture material in the tube and cutting off the top segment. So this we have seen already. So that is the Pomeroy method. Next is the Irving tubal ligation. So what is Irving tubal ligation in the sense? Two ligature are placed around the tube and the segment between the ligature is removed. One end of the cut tube is sutured into the back side of the uterus and the other end is buried in the tissues underlying the tube. This method keeps the cut end healthy and reversal surgery is possible if needed. So this procedure, here they are doing ligature at two portion of the fallopian tube and in between they are cutting. So two sutures are tied and they are cutting in between. So in between we have to cut the tube. So after cutting there will be two ends. So in that one end is sutured to the back side of the uterus, whereas the other end is buried into the tissues underlying the tube. So this helps to prevent necrosis so that the tube ends will be healthy. In case if the couple needs for recanalization, it is possible in this method. So this is known as Irving tubal ligation. Next is the Uchida method. So in this method, it is also same as the previous method what we have seen. So here the fallopian tube is dissected at the midpoint. One end is ligated and placed into a sac that has been created. The other end is tied and leave freely. This method is not used now due to high failure rate. So what is Uchida method means? Here also we are cutting in between the tube and the one end is left freely. Okay, we will not do anything, just they will tie the tube and leave it freely, whereas the other end is that is one end is ligated and placed into a sac that has been created. Sac in the sense a hole like thing is created. They will place the one end of the tube in that sac and the other end is tied and leave freely. So this is known as Uchida method. This method is not used now because it leads to high failure rate. So this is about the Uchida method. So the next one is laparoscopic tubal ligation. So in the laparoscopic tubal ligation, an incision is made inside the umbilicus under general anesthesia or local anesthesia. So here in the umbilicus they will make an incision. A laparoscope is inserted through the opening. An instrument for blocking the tube is introduced through another opening of the tube. So here two instruments are inserted, one through the umbilicus and the other one above the pubic area. So they will introduce the two instruments. One is for visualization and the other one is for tubal ligation. So the fallopian tubes are blocked by application of clips, rings or cauterization. Through any method they will ligate the tube. So this is about the laparoscopic tubal ligation. So two incision is made, one for both for insertion of instruments and they will apply clips, rings or cauterize the tubes. So this is about the laparoscopic tubal ligation. The next one is mini laparotomy. So laparotomy, in case of laparotomy they will make a big incision, but in case of mini laparotomy the incision length will be very small. So under local anesthesia an incision of 2.5 to 3 centimeter is made in lower abdomen just above the pubic hairline. So you can see the picture, the dotted area. So there they will make an incision just above the pubic hairline. Then they will lift the fallopian tube through the incision and block them using electrocoagulation, clips or rings. So this is very effective and safer method. Okay, so a small incision is made with the help of local anesthesia. Then they will lift the fallopian tube through that incision and they will block the tube using electrocoagulation method or using the clips or rings. So this is about the mini laparotomy. Next is the vaginal tubal ligation. So in case of vaginal tubal ligation, the fallopian tube is drawn out through a small opening made in the vaginal wall. Okay, so they will make a small opening in the vaginal wall and through that the fallopian tube is drawn and is ligated with the suture material. It is done under local anesthesia. So no visible scar will be present in case of vaginal tubal ligation. So these are some of the methods that are applied in female sterilization. So next we can see the timing for tubal ligation. So when we can go for tubal ligation. So tubal ligation can be done in postpartum ligation. In case of postpartum ligation, it should be done within first 3 days of childbirth. In case of cesarean ligature, it should be done during the cesarean section itself. In case of in interval tubal ligation, it is done after 3 months following delivery or abortion. The next one is concurrent with MTP. Here sterilization is done along with MTP procedure. So these are some of the timings for tubal ligation. Next we can see the advantages of female sterilization. So it is a very effective one and minimum complications will occur and also less expensive. So these are some of the advantages of female sterilization, and the disadvantages are pain and local infection may be present, then injury to the internal organs. In case of laparoscopy, there is chance for injury to the internal organs, bleeding at the incision site, then irregularity of menstrual cycle may occur. So these are some of the disadvantages of female contraception. So let's conclude the topic. Today we have seen about the permanent sterilization. In that we have seen male sterilization and female sterilization. In case of male, standard vasectomy and non-scalpel vasectomy, we have seen the advantages, disadvantages. Then in case of female sterilization, it consists of two methods, that is the occlusion method and method of tubal ligation or TURU. Then we have seen the advantages, disadvantages. So let's conclude. Permanent method of contraception is the best method of contraception for couples desiring no more children. It gives a effective protection against pregnancy. So, I hope everyone has understood. Thank you.